From Silsbee, Texas, weighing in at 418 pounds, he is the world's strongest man, Mark Henry!
What happens when the strongest man on earth stops fighting and starts building an empire no one can see? Because while most elite athletes go broke within 36 months of retirement, Mark Henry did the opposite. He got richer, he got quieter, and he became more powerful than ever before. Because professional wrestling doesn't forgive mistakes, it buries them. The world knows the 6'3", 410-pound legend as the world's strongest man. They remember the 1996 Olympics. They remember the terrifying dominance of the Hall of Pain. But as we sit here in 2026, the real story isn't happening under the hot lights of an arena or through the lens of a television camera. It's happening on a vast private ranch in the Texas Hill Country. If you want to understand how the world's elite performers quietly build power and sovereign wealth after the fame fades, subscribe now, because on this channel, we don't just chase luxury, we decode it. Today, we take you deep into the life of Mark Henry, a man who proved that the strongest move you can ever make is walking away on your own terms. 1. The Texas Fortress. Architecture of privacy. To understand Mark Henry in 2026, you have to understand the soil he walks on. Nestled in the rolling outskirts of Austin, Texas, Henry's estate is a masterclass in what we call quiet wealth. The centerpiece is a 2-story farmhouse, an architectural reflection of the man himself, imposing, spacious, and built on a foundation that refuses to budge. While other celebrities might opt for the glass and steel monstrosities of the Hollywood Hills, Henry chose the warm wood, limestone, and wide-open spaces of Texas. This isn't just a house, it's a strategic retreat. For over 25 years, Mark Henry lived a life that required him to be on the road 300 days a year. The ranch is the antidote to that chaos. Here, the only roar you hear isn't from a crowd of 20,000. It's the wind through the live oaks and the low hum of a Texas evening. He traded the noise of fame for the clarity of land ownership. But here is the truth most elite athletes learn too late. Silence is terrifying when your entire identity was built on applause. Many legends wither when the cameras turn off. They feel the weight of irrelevance. Henry didn't. He engineered his environment before the silence arrived. He understood that luxury isn't a gold watch. It's the ability to choose your surroundings and protect your peace. Inside this homestead lies a private strength arena that would put most commercial gyms to shame. Even as he navigates 2026, the discipline that made him a world record holder remains unbroken. Henry still trains with a ferocity that defies his age. He maintains the frame that once produced a 953-pound squat and a 903-pound deadlift. In 2026, he doesn't lift to prove anything to the world. He lifts to stay ready. Out here, the world's strongest man isn't a title. It's a daily ritual of survival and dominance. 2. The roots of the Colossus. Silsbee's legacy. Mark Henry wasn't manufactured in a high-tech training facility. He was forged in the humidity and the hard work of Silsbee, Texas. Mark was raised in a tight-knit family where physical size was a common trait, but mental toughness was the true currency. He was surrounded by giants, most notably his great-uncle Chud, a man who stood 6 feet 7 inches. In Silsbee, strength was in the blood, but it was Mark who decided to turn that biology into a global brand. By age 12, he lost his father, a moment that could have broken a lesser child, but instead it turned his potential energy into a singular, focused drive. He credits this specific East Texas upbringing for the humility that defines his luxury lifestyle today. When you grow up in a town like Silsbee, you learn that respect is earned through consistency, not through flash. Neighbors in his community don't see a celebrity when they see Mark at the local grocery store. They see a father. Mark knows that the strongest move a man can ever make is staying true to the people who knew him before he was a household name. In 2026, that connection to community is his greatest protection against the hollow nature of fame. 3. The $10 million blueprint. Beating the system. Mark Henry's fortune wasn't an accident. It was the result of one of the most famous and, at the time, controversial moves in wrestling history. Wrestling is full of guys who earned millions and still ended up financially cornered. The locker room of the 90s was a shark tank. Veterans resented the outsider with the massive paycheck. Mark had to endure hazing and betrayal while maintaining the mental fortitude not blow his money on the ego traps of his era. Ask yourself this: if your career ended tomorrow, would your life collapse or expand? Mark Henry ensured his life would expand. By 2026, and that foundation has grown into a sophisticated fortress. The WWE Legends strategy. In early 2025, Mark officially returned home, signing a massive WWE Legends and Nostalgia contract. In 2026, this ensures his likeness is immortalized in the WWE 2K video game series and a perpetual stream of royalties. The media empire as a lead voice on Sirius XM's Busted Open. Mark reportedly commands a high-value position. He isn't just talking about wrestling, he is analyzing the business of entertainment, earning a respected seat in a billion-dollar landscape. Between land holdings and private ventures, industry observers estimate that Henry pulls in a significant annual figure in post-career income. 4. The wealth psychology, insulation over consumption. Let's be honest, most people never escape the need to be seen. Henry escaped it. Wealth at Mark Henry's level in 2026 is no longer about consumption, it's about insulation. It is insulation from bad deals. Most celebrities are trapped by their own overhead. They have to take every autograph show and every low-budget movie just to keep the lights on. Henry operates from a position of no need. He owns his time, he owns his land, he owns his name. That is the difference between celebrities and sovereign individuals. It's not about having more than everyone else. It's about needing less from them. 5. The Henry dynasty, Jacob's ascension. In 2026, the most valuable thing Mark Henry is building isn't a bank balance, it's a successor. The ultimate flex in Mark's life is his son, Jacob Henry. Mark isn't a stage parent, he is a high-level psychology coach. He is teaching Jacob the same lessons he learned in Silsby, that being the world's strongest is a burden as much as a blessing. At home on the ranch, the dynamic is simple. Mark is just dad. Look at your own life for a moment. Are you building something that survives you, or something that disappears the moment you stop working? 6. The discipline that never retired. We often think of strength as a career phase. For Mark Henry, it is a permanent identity. Even in 2026, Henry's morning routine is as rigid as it was in 1996. He wakes before the Texas sun. He enters his gym. Why? Because the iron doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your Hall of Fame ring or your net worth. It only cares if you can move it today. This daily confrontation with gravity keeps Mark grounded. Strength is no longer his career. It is his identity. From the Olympic platform in Barcelona to the peace of the Texas Hill Country, Mark Henry has lifted the weight of the world. But he proves that real strength isn't about what you can carry in front of a screaming crowd. It's about the life you can build when the crowd goes home and the lights go out. Because in the end, the strongest men aren't remembered for what they lifted, but for what they built when no one was watching. And that may be the rarest form of strength the modern world has left. If this story of quiet power and strategic wealth surprised you, watch the video on your screen now. Because the modern definition of power is changing. Like, share, and subscribe for more.